Level 1, the boy, age 7 to 10. You are not born a knight. That's the first thing to understand. A knight is not something you simply become by choice. It is something you are shaped into over time, through years of discipline, pressure, and expectation. And it all starts when you are just a child. Around the age of 7, your life changes completely. You are sent away from your home, often to a lord's castle, to begin training for a life that you do not yet understand. There is no long explanation, no emotional preparation, no real sense of choice. One day you are surrounded by familiarity, and the next you are in a stone fortress where everything feels colder, louder, and far more serious than anything you have known before. At this stage, you are not important in the way you think of importance. You are small, inexperienced, and constantly being directed. Your job is not to fight or lead or make decisions. Your job is to learn how to exist in this environment. You are taught how to stand properly, how to speak when spoken to, how to follow instructions without hesitation. Even simple mistakes are corrected quickly because discipline is the foundation of everything that comes after. It can feel overwhelming. You don't fully understand why everything matters so much, but you begin to realize that in this world, order is everything. Every action has meaning. Every habit you form now will shape who you become later. And even though you are not training with weapons yet in any serious way, you are already being observed, judged, and molded. This is where your life as a knight begins, even if you don't realize it yet. Level 2. The page, age 10 to 14. As you grow older, your role changes. You are no longer just the child being sent on errands or told to stay out of the way. You become a page. This is your first real step into structured service. And while it still doesn't look impressive from the outside, it is extremely important. Your responsibilities increase. You clean armor, carry messages between rooms, assist servants, and help maintain the daily function of the castle. You are constantly moving, constantly being given tasks that require attention and discipline. You are expected to be reliable even though you are still young. More importantly, this is the stage where you begin to truly observe the world of knights up close. You see them preparing for duty, maintaining their weapons, speaking with authority, and commanding respect. You notice how differently people treat them compared to everyone else. That difference starts to stick in your mind. You are not yet allowed to train seriously with real weapons, but you are introduced to basic physical training. Wooden swords, footwork drills, balance exercises, simple things that teach coordination and control. It may seem basic, but it is the beginning of something much larger. This is also where discipline becomes more personal. You are no longer just following instructions because you have to. You start understanding that your behavior directly affects how others see your future. Every mistake slows your progress. Every improvement moves you forward. Slowly, without realizing it, you begin to change. You are no longer just a child living in a castle. You are becoming someone being shaped for a specific purpose. Level 3. The Squire, age 14 to 18. This is where everything becomes real. When you become a squire, your life is no longer about simple tasks or observation. You are assigned directly to a knight, and your entire existence becomes tied to his service. You are responsible for everything he needs: his armor, his weapons, his horse, his equipment, his readiness for battle. You learn how to maintain steel properly, how to repair straps and fittings, how to ensure nothing fails when it matters most. You sharpen blades until your hands remember the motion without thinking. You care for horses, understanding that in battle a knight is only as strong as the animal beneath him. But more than anything, you begin to train seriously. You fight with real weapons now. You feel their weight, their impact, their danger. You learn how exhausting combat truly is. It is not graceful. It is not clean. It is physical, unpredictable, and punishing. And then comes the moment that changes everything. You see battle for the first time. You are not the one leading the charge, but you are close enough to experience it fully. The noise is overwhelming. Metal clashes, horses scream, commands are shouted, and everything moves faster than your mind can process. It is nothing like the stories or the training drills. You see fear. You see injury. You see how quickly control can disappear. That moment removes any illusion you may have had. Being a knight is not about glory. It is about survival, discipline, and responsibility under extreme pressure. From that point on, your training changes mentally. You are no longer just learning skills. You are preparing for reality. Level 4. The Knight. Early adulthood. Eventually, if you prove yourself, you are knighted. It is not dramatic in the way stories often make it seem. There is no sudden transformation where everything feels different instantly. Instead, it is a moment of recognition, a blade placed on your shoulder, an oath spoken, and then a shift in responsibility that becomes permanent. You are no longer under someone else in the same way. You are now expected to perform, to lead yourself, to make decisions in real time when there is no room for hesitation. Your life becomes a cycle of preparation and action. You train constantly. You maintain your equipment without fail. You ride out when called, knowing that every engagement carries real consequences. Combat is no longer something you observe, it is something you enter. And with each battle, you understand more deeply what it means to carry armor, not just physically, but mentally. Every piece of steel represents protection, but also weight. Every movement requires energy. Every decision carries risk. You learn quickly that survival depends on more than strength. It depends on awareness, timing, and control. Mistakes are no longer learning moments in the same way they were before. Now they have consequences. Level 5. The Veteran, midlife. After years of service, something changes again. You are no longer the young knight proving himself. You are experienced. You have survived enough battles to understand patterns, risks, and outcomes in ways others cannot yet see. Your body carries the history of your life. Injuries remain. Recovery takes longer. Strength is still there, but it is no longer your greatest advantage. Instead, your mind becomes your greatest weapon. You learn to read situations before they fully develop. You avoid unnecessary risks. You choose battles more carefully. You understand when to push forward and when to hold position. You also begin to take on responsibility for others. Young squires start following you, watching you, learning from you the same way you once learned from others. You become the example without even trying. And eventually, you guide them. You teach them how to survive, not just how to fight, how to think under pressure, how to avoid mistakes you once made, how to endure what cannot be avoided. In many ways, you are now shaping the next generation of knights. Level 6. The Legacy, later years. Time continues its path, regardless of strength or reputation. Eventually, your role shifts again. You may step away from active combat, or you may simply slow down as your body demands it. Either way, you are no longer at the center of every battle. But your presence still matters. You may become a trainer, a mentor, or an advisor. You pass on everything you have learned, every lesson, every mistake, every understanding earned through experience. Or in some cases, your story ends in battle, as many knights' stories do. Not because of failure, but because that is the nature of the life itself. Either way, your impact does not end with you. It continues through those you trained, those you influenced, and those who will follow the path you once walked. Because being a knight was never just about fighting. It was about being shaped over a lifetime into something that carries responsibility far beyond yourself. From a boy with no understanding to a man defined by discipline, endurance, and experience. That is the full journey. And once it begins, it never truly leaves you.